All right. Alad, week number 4 of our town hall. What an amazing journey it has been. Alad, how are you doing today?
Wow, I'm great. Week number 4. I'm surprised you are still counting.
Right.
I'm getting used to it, man. And like every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, we are live. And I love it. I love it. I love what we're doing. I love the vibes. I love
Yes.
getting talk to so many people throughout the week, hearing amazing feedback and ideas, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Yes. Might as well. And we have a few people in here already, which is really exciting. And I want to just go ahead and welcome some of the people here on YouTube. We have David, who's here. Appreciate you coming through. Philly to Cable Dave, welcome. Joel, Blind Guy, his wife, their life. Jasmine, Alex, Gary, Amy, Shauna. The list goes on and on. Roman. Thank you so much, James, for tuning in. And a lot, if you have anybody tuning in there from Facebook, let's go ahead
Yes.
and
So
just welcome them. This is a great party.
Facebook is
Great
mine.
party.
So in Facebook, we have today Tris and Jasmine. And we have DJ. Wow, from our live booster event. Hi,
Oh,
DJ. Happy
wonderful.
to have you here with us today. Yeah, super happy. More people on YouTube today. That's fine, but
Yeah.
I'm in charge of Facebook, so come to me as well.
So I'm extremely excited. These last few weeks have opened up a lot of opportunities. More and more people are getting exposed to Evmux and the potential of what's available to be able to not only create live content but also recorded content. Had a special live yesterday as well, which that's where a lot of people are coming from with Kurt's live stream, which hopefully he may be able to join us here today. But a lot, you was there yesterday. What was the emotion? What was the feeling that you got yesterday being there?
Yeah, wow. And that's again one of the things that made me feel so good to get to know new people and new opportunities and new experiences. Like you wake up in the morning, you never thought you're going through this experience. So actually, just to tell everyone the nice story that happened yesterday at about 10 p.m. Eastern, something like that. The support let me know that in the chat they say that we have people that there are live streaming and ask us to join to the stream if we can.
Right.
I said, okay, let's see what's going on. And man, the vibes and the energy there just kept me on for 3 hours more,
Right.
engaging with them in the chat. They really wanted me to join, but honestly, I wasn't in the position to really join 10 p.m. You didn't want to see me live then, but engaging in the chat and hearing them and seeing how much they love what we do, how excited they are. Wow, it made me like I had so much adrenaline I couldn't go to sleep. Honestly, it was so great.
Yeah, it was great. Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch it last night, but I did catch it this morning during breakfast, and it really kicked off my day. The energy there, just seeing people being amazed at what we've been able to create and produce. And the beautiful thing is that we're just getting started, right? And I think that's the whole aha moment of like, this is what we're providing you now, but the things that we have coming forward is just going to be amazing. And I see a lot of people that tuning in from Kirk, so I appreciate Kirk for exposing everyone to Evmux and the availability of what they can do with it. So extremely excited about that. But we also have another special announcement today that we wanted to announce. Alaa, did you want to kick that off?
Yeah, sure. So that was the plan to begin with, right? And then Kirk and
Yeah.
his team and his community kind of changed it, and we wanted to start with that to really show our gratitude
Right.
and how much we appreciate it. Our big announcement for today is that we are officially LinkedIn Live certified partner. We
Yes.
worked so hard to do that, and big shout out to the LinkedIn Live team, Shiva and Chris, and other team members in LinkedIn, Colin. Thank you so much for being so helpful, patient to get this done. I can tell you all that LinkedIn, they are so professionals, and the process to become a certified partner is crazy in a good way. Like, I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think that they are totally right that a certified partner of LinkedIn should go through a process. You cannot just
Mhm.
become a partner. But that said, that we are in a position that we really wanted to be, that kind of LinkedIn have like the stamp on Evmux that it is a good platform, stable platform,
Right.
And we couldn't be more excited and grateful for being a LinkedIn certified partner. That's huge.
Right. And it's a great stepping stone, especially with how many live streamers are coming to the platform as well, and being able to utilize Evmux to be able to do that. The energy that's coming from the chat right now is so great. It makes you feel great when you know that you created something that people actually see the value in what we created. And we had These Are My People tune in. We have Wink and David. Appreciate you guys' comment. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And we really wanted to go ahead today and show you guys more of what is available. Really specifically, we wanted to focus on the lower thirds. We noticed that a lot of people were talking about that yesterday and just how it works and how it looks and things of that sort for you to be able to customize it. So we wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that today, show you a quick demo of how you can utilize that tool starting today to be able to make your live streams look even more professional. So if we wanted to go ahead and kick that off and show you guys what we have here to offer, and then we can go ahead and take questions after you see what the animated lower thirds can do.
Okay, let's play the video.
Having the availability to be able to go ahead and add lower thirds and banners instantly increases the production of your broadcast. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how, without any technical knowledge, with a few clicks of a button, you can have lower thirds and banners that are customized to fit your brand. So let's go ahead and jump into my Evmux account so you can see how easy this really is. Here we are inside of my Evmux account, and what you're currently looking at is the live stream editor. And in just a few steps, I'm going to show you how to take your live stream from looking like this to looking like this in just a few steps. So let's go ahead and begin. So the very first thing that we want to go ahead and do is we want to go ahead and create some animated lower thirds. So to be able to do this, you want to come to the left hand side under graphics, select brand settings, and then you're going to be able to see an option to toggle on lower thirds. So once you've gone ahead and done that, you're going to see there's going to be a few options available for you. So you can select one of the examples that's already provided, and you can see how beautiful and clean and minimalistic that is. But you can also go ahead and take it a step further and utilize the Evmux customizer. So to utilize a custom, go ahead and click on custom. That's going to go ahead and bring up a window with the editor. And now the very first thing that you're able to do is that you're able to go ahead and access any of the animated lower thirds that we already have provided for you by going to the right hand side, selecting change type, and you're going to see the several options that we've provided. Now you can go ahead and look through these and select the one that fits best. So I'm going to go ahead and select one. And now here on the left hand side under settings, we're going to be able to take the customizations a little bit further. So you're able to go ahead and select if you want there to be a delay before the lower third appears, if you want the lower third to always show, if you want it to hide after 5 seconds or repeat after 8 seconds. You can decide on what size you want it. You can go all the way as much as 100, as low as 0, and then you can go ahead and change the main color and the secondary color, and then you're also able to go ahead and change the position of it to be able to go ahead and adjust it to your liking. So once you go ahead and got that set up, you can see here now that the lower third is appearing, and it was only took us a few clicks to be able to accomplish that. But it doesn't stop there. You also have the option to be able to start adding banners that also enhance the look and feel of your production. So you can come in here and add a primary text and a secondary text, and that's going to look a little bit like this. So this gives you the ability to be able to go ahead and add topics, to be able to address certain questions, but you can also go ahead and create a scrolling lower third that looks like this. And the best way to be able to do that is to go ahead and create your primary text and then make sure that you select ticker, and that's what creates the effect of it scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Now, you can take the customizations a step further from there by going to brand settings, and then you're going to be able to change the theme and the layout. So let's say I don't like the gradient, but I want to go rounded. You can see here that I can start to change this, and it changes the look and feel of my production. Let's say that I want to change my primary color to red so it could be more on brand. You can see here how seamless everything changes so that it's all cohesive and looks the same. And once again, there's no technical knowledge needed here. It's simply a few clicks of a button and picking the right colors, and you can see how I improve the production. So then you take a look at also the availability to add banners that are comments. This not only creates more engagement for your live stream, but it gives the opportunity for people in your audience to be able to see themselves live on the production, and at the same time you can see that it's clean, minimalistic, and you have the option to be able to go ahead and change the look and feel of this based on what you like to see. And just like that, you can see how easy it was to be able to enhance the look and feel of your production by adding animated lower thirds. But it doesn't stop there. Go ahead and watch the next video where I show you how you can take advantage of a green screen inside of Evmux to improve the look and feel of your background. And if you found value in this video and you want to learn more by improving the quality of your live streams using Evmux, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video. I'll see you in the next one. All right. So you can see just how in a 3-minute video, you were able to go ahead and set up and customize animated lower thirds to instantly enhance the way that your live stream looks, right? And I see in the comments here that a few of you have already gained a few access into a few of the training videos already to start producing and setting up your live stream. So that's extremely exciting. But definitely want to take any questions you guys have on there in regards to the animated lower thirds. We just got word that Kirk is going to be joining us, so we're bringing him on stage here just shortly.
Big win.
Huh?
That's a big win that Kirk is joining us today.
Big win. This is when the party's going to get ready to start because this is a lot of Kirk's community that's here. So it's always going to be great to be able to go ahead and see him on stage and be able to engage with him. You know, it's different being in the comments than to being on stage with him. So if we want to go ahead and bring Kirk on the stage, we can definitely go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and kick this party off.
Wow.
How's it going, Kirk?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to be here. This is awesome.
Perfect. You don't really need no big introduction, but for those of the people that don't know who you are, why don't you just tell people a little bit about who you are, what you do, and just kind of kick it off from there.
Sure. Well, my name is Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. I like to call myself your live video coach, and I show you how to use live streaming to grow and engage an audience, to funnel clients to your business, and establish yourself as a thought leader. I'm a former executive executive and missionary, turned content creator and live video coach. I've been given the title of the Geek Speaker Preacher, and it kind of embodies my passions, right? Technology, media, speaking, and ministry. While I'm growing intentionally on a number of platforms, I'm really focused on YouTube, where I teach small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities how to harness the power of live video. Excited to be here today. I really like this platform, Evmux.
Love it. What an amazing introduction. And so powerful to be able to see that you got your hands on Evmux. How did you get your hands on Evmux? Who put it on you? How did you come about it? Why don't you talk about that journey there?
That is a good question. I keep my hands on a number of publications and platforms and blogs and RSS feeds. There are so many different little streaming platforms that are coming out. You guys launched in January, if I'm not mistaken, and I just had it on my list of platforms to test. I've got several others, but usually when I test them, I will make some notes and basically go back to it later, maybe give them a couple months, because features are rolling out, especially at this phase. You guys understand what I'm talking about. At this phase, you guys it's still in a state of flux, and so features will be rolled out. What you see today will not be what you see tomorrow. I heard Elad say that they've got some crazy stuff coming for the pro plan. I'm really excited to hear a little bit of that. But and then of course, I just want to pause right here and say congratulations on the LinkedIn partnership. That is phenomenal. LinkedIn Live is definitely, anybody who's in my space, live video coaching, marketing, live video strategy, they know that LinkedIn has bet the farm on LinkedIn Live. They really are looking to transition themselves into being a video powerhouse on that platform, and especially because of their niche, with them being strictly for businesses and business networking, it's going to be huge to be partnered with them, and especially some of the features you guys are using. But yeah, I started testing it out yesterday afternoon. And what I always try to do, of course, is take my show, drop it into the streaming platform, and see how does it fit. What can I do? What can I not do? What are some of the limitations? What are some of the things that it does better? Essentially trying to figure out how it all works. That's a shameless plug from my community. But it became very apparent, like maybe 5 minutes in. It only took me about 20 minutes to get everything loaded up. But it became very apparent about 5 minutes in that I wasn't missing a lot. There's Ecamm is the platform that I use for my show, but I uploaded all of the assets, the overlays, just was definitely surprised and overjoyed almost. So I decided, okay, let's go live. Let's see what other people think about this. So I did a bait and switch. So I went live and I was like, okay, this is what it looks like. This is what I'm poking around in. I showed them the dynamic scene first, right? So I'm certain you guys gonna kind of go, for those that are watching, I showed them the dynamic scene first, which the dynamic scene kind of mirrors what we're used to from tier 2 web-based streaming platforms. You know, you have those layouts at the bottom, you have your brand tab, you have graphics, the logos, and you know, hex code for your brand color, all of the things that you would normally want, it's all there. So at first I was saying, oh, okay. And that's what I showed the audience. And then I switched to pro scene. And once I switched to pro scene, I think the entire audience was like, whoa, what's going on right now? I mean, the fact that you can take a video and resize it and whatever, we cropped in, it really gives a lot of flexibility. And what I love is that you guys are straddling the fence between that very structured, here's what it is, you can design for it. I mean, right now you can go on Fiverr, find somebody who designs for StreamYard and purchase a graphics package for $60 and you can be good to go, right? And with that standard layout, it works. But for things like Ecamm, it's a lot more custom. Nothing is really where it's supposed to be because you can do anything you want. And for people like me and for many who kind of sit in between, they want a little more freedom than what some of these other tier 2 platforms have been giving them. But then they don't want the heavy lift of having to have that beefy computer where you're having to install the product on that PC or on that Mac. And so there is a space in between, and I love this. I love the fact that you guys have dived in. I think it's definitely a benefit to us as consumers. So that's what I always say to my audience, to my crew. You got to see it from the perspective of it's going to push everybody in the right direction, in my opinion. So kudos to you guys for this great platform, and thank you so much for the opportunity to come on and hang out, man. This is amazing.
Thank you, Kirk. I think like you made me so excited because hearing someone like you talking like that, this is exactly what we dreamed about when we launched the platform. Good. Feeling like, you know, for all startup whatsoever, you are launching. Of course, you do beta, you talk to people, you do the research, yes, but launch and then getting to people like, I don't know you personally yet, like you just got out of our organic marketing that we're doing. We're still doing town halls, the little emails. We're not even advertising in paid advertising yet.
Just
having you on the platform, seeing you excited like that, seeing your community excited like that, and excited not but having a platform, excited from the specific features that we thought that those are the game changers.
They're definitely game changers.
Now hearing you and seeing you excited so much about that. And yesterday in the chat, I was like telling you about this and about that. And every time I put something, you're like, what? I have a picture. I have a screenshot. Good. This and that's it's all about that. Really, it's all about that. It gives us fuel for decades now. What was yesterday?
There's there are a lot of people who are at that beginning phase and they were not familiar with streaming, and so some of this stuff is going to go straight over their head. But anybody who has actually produced a show, anybody who does their own show, or if they've done any kind of live streaming on any one of these web-based platforms, you know what that box looks like, and it's very defined. There's no way around it, and you know what those limitations are. So when simple things, because I have a broadcast background, I did broadcast engineering for a while for large media house, and you know what, you got the headset, you can say camera 2, push in a little bit, you can do all of those things. And so while we were appreciative of what we were able to do in a browser, because of course we still have to keep in mind, everybody, that this is still a browser, right? What we're able to do here is amazing given the fact that we're still using a browser. So while you do balance that, the temper that expectation, but there's still those things that you miss. And so right off the bat, as soon as I went live, which was the surprise for me that I couldn't say to folks online because I hadn't gone live before I went live. But the surprise was that, of course, as soon as you go live, you get the program in preview. And I just, for a broadcast guy, it's like, oh my God, program and preview. And then being able to hit the walkie-talkie and talk to somebody backstage, and not backstage, but as a producer, talk to somebody, give them the cues. Oh my, as I'm a remote producer, I produce shows literally every day of the week. I mean, including for
Yeah.
church. And I'm always wanting to be able to, hey,
Communicate.
there's a saying I always say, just I'll push into the person that's on screen and say,
Right.
your child is running behind you naked. Those are the kinds of things you want to be able to say without the audience hearing.
Right.
So you can kind of take care of that and privately in a sense. So I love that you put that level of intentionality into your thought process around designing the platform. So excellent stuff.
And I'm glad you touched on that, because that's truly what we wanted to accomplish, right? We wanted dynamic scenes to be like go live in 2 minutes or less,
Boom.
right? Just plug in, get ready to go. But we didn't want to be a copy and paste from another software, right? So we knew that, from coming from like OBS or using Vmix and things of that sort, we know how important it is to be able to have flexibility to be able to create something unique, right? So that's where the pro scenes came in. So once we had the pro scenes, it's like, well, if somebody's running a show, what's the biggest thing that happens when you see news, when you see anchors, they have here.
Yes, that's right.
So we're like, how can we communicate? So it was just like, it's so great to hear, like, not only yourself, but other people acknowledging the small details that are incorporated right now and how we launched out of the gate with that. And, we have some amazing questions here from your community, Kurt. Looks like some of the things that I guess they were left pondering yesterday. So we got here the first question from Blind Guy, his wife, their life.
That's Lakita Marie. Yes.
When creating
That's a short name, huh?
And lower thirds, do they all save for the next broadcast in a certain folder, or how are things organized? So I can go ahead and answer this for you, Blind Guys. So pretty much all of your banners and all of your animated lower thirds are going to be saved in the session that you're utilizing. So pretty much if you create a session, which is this session you're seeing here, and you set up all your scenes or your overlays or your animated lower thirds, then you can go ahead and close that up, shut everything down. And when you power it back up, it's ready to go. So it's soon, once you set it up the first time, it literally becomes like dynamic scenes. You can literally go live in 2 minutes, right?
2 minutes, right.
And that's kind of the beautiful things of it. And to piggyback on that, because I see that you also asked about multiple sessions. So multiple sessions are going to be just like what we're doing now, right? Mm-hmm. So the way multiple sessions work is that it allows you to have multiple live streams, right? This works in a great scenario if you're doing a webinar or you're doing a virtual event where you have multiple speakers and you want to do breakout rooms. So that's a great way to use sessions, right? So what you do is that with sessions, you're able to manage everything all together. So you don't have to have multiple tabs open to manage all the sessions, to manage everything. You can literally toggle between the tabs inside of Evmux to be able to manage. So if you're a producer and you're handling multiple sessions, you can just toggle between and just make sure everything's working good in there. So that's kind of how you take advantage of the multi-sessions there. If anything you want to add on there a lot, or Kirk, if you experienced some of that yesterday.
You touched on most of the things, I think. Just to reiterate that, when you are creating a session in Evmux, setting everything up, go live, like we went live today, okay? But we do the town hall weekly, okay? Everything kind of set up the same. We are changing a little bit. Like today we added Kirk, okay? But Anthony and Elad, fireside chat, we have the countdown to begin with. We have the opening slide, whatever it is, and we have banners in place, lower thirds with the configuration, etc. So we went live, offline later. Next week, we are using the same session. No reason why to create a new one. We just create new posts to the social media, scheduling, whatever we want to do. And of course, we can do it within Evmux. So we just go in there, deleting the old posts and creating new posts. But everything you created ahead of time, like before, you can keep going if you have a weekly show or a daily show or whatever it is, as long as you keep the same frame. Definitely use just one session all the time.
It's kind of like a profile then, right?
I mean, it's like a profile.
Kind of. You can think about it like a profile.
Okay, cool.
But if you have now multiple sessions, or you have even multiple, we call them projects. You have a project now with something, and then tomorrow or next month, you have a whole different project. Let's say someone like Kirk, that he's a remote producer. So he has his own show, but he also has a show for a church. It's totally different, right? So you probably want
different
to use
assets.
the same session. Right. It doesn't make sense. Kirk will create a project for this church and then use it that way. And then if he has something parallel on the same time for the church, he can do that. Right. And managing that, you have many things happening on the same time. Like the idea that you can be in the dashboard. Even let's say you have a remote producers, team members, and things of that sort, thinking about organization, that they have multiple events, multiple projects. Like I'm Amazon now, okay, and I have like many teams running events throughout the world, and I want to be able to, with one click of a button, see how it looks,
where it's all.
I have an event and we have breakout rooms, whatever it is. I want to be able to, and we have in the dashboard the ability to just watch live each session happening right now. I see all the live sessions, one click of a button, I see how it looks. Of course, if I want to join as a producer because I need to back someone up or whatever it is, I definitely can do that as well.
Right.
I think coming from the event industry just made us think that way.
That's good. What? How would an attendee view the let's say a breakout room? Would they view? Where would they view it?
So pretty much.
Go ahead.
Okay, so pretty much for like the breakout sessions, you would have to just give them access to that other session. So treat it as individual live streams that you would have to share the link to that session for them to get access to. Otherwise, if they're speakers, then they can go ahead and log in on the back end, just like we are now, and be able to get access to it. But I wanted to touch on one thing because he mentioned folders, right? So the way that the folders work, technically there is, right? So you think of the main event level, meaning that, hey, Kirk, you have your business, but you do multiple sessions throughout that week. So you create the main event, you have multiple sessions, and all the assets that you upload to one session are available on all sessions within that event, right? So it allows you to be able to not have to like, oh, I'm going to use the same overlay in another session. Do I got to re-upload it? No, you don't. As long as it's in the main event session, then every session you create is going to have access to those assets. Right. Only when you create a new event, a new project, let's say you have Kurt's business and you have multiple sessions, then you have the church that you have their own event. They have multiple sessions. You can have different assets for them, but inside that event, you can then use the assets across multiple sessions. Right. So making it real easy for you to be able to like duplicate, create new things and things of that sort. So I just want to touch on that as well.
It's good.
Because that was important. Yeah.
We can add to that the collaboration, right? We call it teams or whatever you call it. We do allow already in place to invite team members to collaborate with you on different events or projects. Okay, so you can say on the church, with the church, you have someone helping you from the church or whomever. So you can invite them to the platform to be with you, but they won't have any access to the project that you do for yourself.
Okay, perfect.
I think we built it pretty smart, but I want to be modest, always open to hear what you have in mind and what your thoughts are. And for your feedback, we want to improve all the time,
amazing.
Please.
That's amazing.
100%. And we have another question here. It says, is the programming preview the default when you go live? So pretty much, yes. As soon as you hit live, you're going to get access to that additional editor, which is going to give you that ability to transition, which, I don't know how many of you guys tried yesterday, but there's also an auto switcher. Right.
Yeah.
So if you experience that as well, that's also makes it a lot easier for a one person to create a show and say, hey, I'm going to have my starting soon screen. And then as soon as that's over, it's going to automatically transition over.
Yeah.
And when you're on the back end, you'll see a countdown timer in the preview window saying 10, 9, 8, to letting you know exactly when it's going to transition over. So that way there's not a dead pause when you transition, like you're able to initially right away keep the momentum going, and it shows the professionalism in the content you're producing with the smooth transition. So yes,
I saw that auto switch on like say like if I created a pro scene and put a video in it, it gave me an option to auto switch. My assumption was to the next scene. Okay, perfect.
It's not with the next. So I would like to be accurate here. When you click on a video, but when you edit a pro scene, okay, you add a video to the scene as a layer. Then you click on the video. There is like a toolbar on the top.
One of them
is a magic stick. You click on that. Then you can do a lot of things. You can decide that the video will be looped. Or not looped. And then when it's not looped, we tell you, okay, would you like to do an auto switch? And then it's not necessarily for the next scene. You can choose which scene will come next.
Yeah, it does. Yes, that's true.
You have the whole scene. You see the names of the scenes and you just pick the right scene you would like to do. Of course, when you order your scenes, you would like to put the video and then the next scene right after. So it will make sense to you as a producer, but it's not like necessarily to the next scene. You choose which scene will be played after the video. Just to add to what Anthony just said about this question of, is it default that you have the two screens,
Right.
edit and live? As long as you use pro scenes, yes, that's the default. Like when you have a dynamic and pro, so yes, we have the two sides, both sides. When you decide that you go only with dynamic, keep it as simple as possible. No
Right.
pro scenes, you haven't created anything. When you go live, no reason why to have the both sides, because basically in dynamic, it's just add to stream, remove to stream, like, you know, from
That's it.
other
Yeah.
systems.
Yeah.
So we keep it simple, and you just have one big
Yeah.
preview, and this is what you play with. When you have pro scenes, then it start to make sense to have both, because you would like to have, okay, what's coming up next, the ability to edit things backstage before you transition to the live, and then it comes pretty robust. And I think it's kind of the idea and the logic and what we had in mind, and that's exactly what Kerr kind of understood so quickly and made me so excited. We want you to be able to go live as quick, as easy as possible,
like that.
but we want you to grow with the platform. It means that, okay, you probably start with the easy way, but pretty quickly you will see that you need things.
That's perfect.
And then you can evolve with the platform and not say, okay, that's too limited for me, let's now go to OBS. No, we don't want you to go to OBS. We want you to evolve and grow with us.
That is perfect, because as a coach, that's one of the things I'm constantly saying in fact, I said to somebody on Wednesday, I was like, start off with a browser-based streaming platform. Give yourself a couple of months, maybe 6 months. Don't buy the year plan, but just do a couple of months, and then begin to see, is this where I want to stay, or am I feeling the boundaries, or should I be looking to transition to something else? But the way you've designed the platform allows people to grow within the platform. So I think that's absolutely awesome. You don't have to use the pro scenes, but they're there in case you ever want to use them. And maybe you just kick the tires every now and again. You do a test stream and you're like, well, I'm testing out pro scenes. And as you get more used to it, and as you I don't know what you guys have in terms of content and video content or anything like that for training people on how to use it, but I definitely would be interested in doing some stuff like that. But as people begin to learn how to use different other features, that is where you begin to add just one piece, just add one thing in. Before you know it, over time, you grow right into saying, no, I'm not using dynamic scenes anymore. I'm just going to use pro scenes for everything. So one of the things that you said there in terms of being able to add or choose, I should say, which scene it switches to after a video is done, that's clutch, because, even for a scenes list, sometimes you'll have host plus guest like 15 times in that list if you're just going linear, right? So for you to be able to just have the host plus guest once, but then every time you select a video, it automatically switches back to that host plus guest or host or whatever it is. That could be really clutch. I mean, so you just kind of follow your run sheet, your run of show, and just organize your scenes. That's dope. I think, again, it's those little things. You can tell that it's been created by people who have done broadcast, who do, who have done shows, and there's those small little details that we all know. I mean, if you've done this work, then you know this stuff. But that is
I'll give
really,
you another
really cool.
Another use case. You just gave me an idea what was in our mind when we created that. You let's say a scenario that you have a countdown video and then an intro video, and then you want to be back to the dynamic scenes, okay? Because most of the show will be dynamic. So with other tools, you can have just one video and then it's back to the dynamic. But and also you cannot control how the dynamic will look after the video. It basically goes back to what was before. But now with what we have, you can have auto switch from the countdown to the intro video, then auto switch from the intro video to the dynamic. Meanwhile, the video is playing. You can make sure how the dynamic looks, add people to stream, remove to stream, switch, do whatever you want, add the logo, remove logo, whatever. And then when it's transitioned automatically, because it's an auto switch, then the dynamic scenes looks exactly as you expect it to be.
That's good. That's good.
It opens up a lot of opportunity, a lot of doors here. And I got a few questions. Somebody here, somebody as myself who's used OBS quite frequently, the question comes in, what about system requirements? And, it's still a browser source, but, they love OBS. So one of the biggest differences I can tell you right out of the gate when it comes to utilizing a web base is, number one, if OBS shuts down, your stream's gone.
That's it.
Right. If your computer, you lag out, you simply hit refresh. Why? Because your stream is hosted on the cloud, right? We do all the heavy lifting for you. You can have the oldest computer. If you have internet and you can get on a browser and you can have a USB to connect your camera, your mic, you're pretty much good to go. The quality that comes out of your stream is not dependent on what machine you have or what computer you have. And you saw yesterday, I think, Kurt, you actually did a demonstration where you refreshed your browser.
I did.
Right? You were gone, of course, because you had to just refresh, but the stream kept going. So if you have somebody else there with you, they can easily quick switch to another scene, right?
That's the thing.
Refresh, and you're back in there.
That's so perfect, because if I had thought about it, I could have just changed to a scene where the two guests were on screen talking, refresh my browser, come back. But yeah, you have all those options and features. What I would say to the person who's like, well, I love OBS. Look, you can use the two in part. I'm not a fan of, either or. I'm a fan of both and, right? So OBS and Ecamm have a phenomenal product called the virtual camera. It's in my opinion, it is the best piece of those products. And you can use OBS as an asset delivery tool into Evmux for a long time until you find a way to transition yourself over. So, but I will tell you though, I have had scenarios, especially when you have paid clients, you cannot have an outage, right? And so you gotta have something that's holding the stream up. So I have been looking for a while into platforms like Evmux and others who would be that base underneath what I'm doing. So if I can't get all of the functions and features out of the platform, I can still use Ecamm or an OBS, but I have that platform as my, that's what keeps it going. It's almost like having a UPS, or it's like, something happens to your system and it reboots midstream. You just have a little thing on there that says, be right back. And when you get back in, boom, you're going again. So I would look at ways to incorporate it into your workflow until you can transition, if you ever want to transition. So totally up to you guys. I mean, it's just one of those things I just wanted to share there, but absolutely amazing that, the amount of functionality you guys have been able to squeeze out of a browser, it's
right. Yeah, that's and it's crazy just the way technology is evolving, and I think that showcased the direction that we're going. And it's just been amazing. I mean, when I first started here at Evmux, and just creating all the demos and the tutorials, I was blown away, right? Just simply by like, this is amazing. Like, I can just really create anything that I want, and experience other web-based tools. Just like you said, it's just a same layout, and they're progressing and things of that sort, but it didn't give you the flexibility of like, what if I want to create this scene? Right? I don't want my screen to be at the bottom when I'm presenting my screen. I want my screen to be full screen, or I want to put my screen on top. Or hey, I don't want to share my screen. I actually want to upload my presentation directly into the platform to be able to have a smoother experience. So it's just those little things in there where we wanted to make sure we hit home. And we know we weren't going to be perfect out of the gate, but we did want to give you enough that you were going to be able to say, I feel comfortable enough that I can come in here, utilize this software, because it's a familiar kind of experience, kind of dashboard.
That's the piece.
Once you go to the pro scenes, okay, it gets a little bit more complicated, but still, it's just clicks of a button. Once you do it one time, you can do it again, right? So, and that's one of the things for me was like, coming in first and experience like vMix and OBS and Streamlabs and things of that sort. Like, you see them, it's a little bit intimidating at first, right? It's a little bit, you're like, okay, this is a little bit much. When you get inside of Evmux, it's pretty easy to kind of navigate through and start customizing and play around. And that's why we wanted to make it free for you to be able to utilize, right? We didn't want to put limitations on what you can go in there and use. Okay, the logo, if you want to remove it, yes, you have to pay, but there has to be something for us to be able to kind of keep pushing forward and keep improving, right? But we wanted you to be able to get in there and be able to try everything out, utilize it. And if you want to go live with the Evmux logo, hey, that's good for us. Let's promote us and help us grow. But we just didn't want you to have the limitation to say, well, hey, the only way for you to try pro scenes is if you pay. The only way for you to try something else is if you pay. And we wanted just to get the experience of like, maybe you never tried a web-based tool before. Maybe you just wanted to get started live streaming and you didn't know what was available to you. I'll get those questions asked all the time. Like, what do I need to start live streaming? And I always say, like, use the things you have at your disposal. Use your phone, right? Virtual webcam, right? Get a little microphone, right, that you can utilize. Go ahead and get a web-based tool. And then just like that, you can get up and running.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. We just had a question from Jasmine that
Sure.
said, "Hey, when you count storage, is that for recorded streams or does that include all uploaded assets?" So to answer that question really simply, it counts both, right? So it's going to count both for you.
Yeah,
There,
but you have a lot. You have
yeah,
50 gigabytes in the Pro, which is 39 a month if you go annual, or 20 if you go in the
The
basic,
basic.
and for
Mhm.
free you get 5 gigabytes. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
and you could, between all of us, the community, you can delete things, right? I don't see,
right, yeah,
also, also in
right,
iCloud you can delete things. You just never
right.
do that probably. But still, we want to keep it very affordable. We don't
Mhm.
want the financial state of anyone to be the barrier of creating content.
Right,
Never.
That's good.
right.
I know that you guys have questions in the comments, but I do have
Mhm.
one or two. So
Sure.
but let's catch a couple of more of these and see if maybe mine will be covered as well.
Okay, yeah, let's see here. What we got on Facebook? Do we have anything coming in on Facebook a lot? I have a
So we
question
had
here
we
where
had Jasmine that
Mhm.
asking YouTube as well. So
Okay.
thank you, Jasmine, for being in both platforms. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
right. Supporting them
But
both.
I think we're pretty much done with questions. And we also, want to be very respectful for everyone's time. I
Yeah.
can talk to Kirk like forever.
Yeah, right.
And we
let
will
me let
talk
me just
more
ask.
for
I just have
sure.
two follow-up
Yeah, sure.
questions.
Let's kick them off.
One is multiple cameras. So if I have multiple cameras connected to my computer, um could I in scenes, can I select different cameras and just as I switch scenes, it can be like a switcher?
So for now, you can do it with adding kind of a new speaker, or if you have
Yes.
something like ADEM or things of that sort to do the switching.
Yeah.
But coming up very soon, the
Yeah.
Oh
multi-camera
my.
feature. Very,
Yeah.
very soon. You touch something that you asked, so we're saying it's
Yeah, yeah,
coming up
yeah.
soon. I don't commit to ETA here,
No, that's
but
good.
it's coming
But
soon.
I love to hear that. But even just the initial answer is great for me to know that it
Works.
still works. You just add as a
A
speaker,
speaker
the
workaround.
additional.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Hmm.
And then you can
The
create a scene to this one, a scene to this one, and just play between the two scenes so
yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. You could set the time interval.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
The other question I have was, what does Evmux mean?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I
Great
love that
question.
question
Great question.
because a lot of people they don't understand, and I get it. But there is something behind the name. EV is events, because we are coming from the event industry. We appreciate that, and in the beginning, we thought about, okay, let's tackle virtual events because this is what we knew, and then we've been exposed to so many different verticals of content creation, which is so amazing and exciting. And Mux is the shortcut for multiplexer. And multiplexer is basically taking few things, combine them together, and get something amazing out of it, which
Oh,
is what you
yes.
do when you create amazing content in the studio and then stream one amazing stream outside. So that's Evmux.
Yeah.
Lovely. Great. No, I love those kinds of things, those
Yeah.
origin stories. That's what builds the brand. That's what, people can
Yeah.
get behind. And I love that events is in the core of your name. That's great. I hope that people are resonating with that in the chat as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for answering.
Yeah.
That's all I had. I just wanted to make sure I walk
Thank
away
you
with
for
that
everything,
information.
Kirk.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I had one question for you, Kurt.
Yeah.
I know that you said that you had made a list, but I just kind of was curious to see some of the things that, from your experience that you may have be seeing that's missing inside of Evmux that you would potentially like to see in the future. Because I think it's always great to get feedback from people that are using the platform, but also in the space, utilizing other tools that are like, man, if I had this, that would probably be right for me right now.
So we talked about one last night already with Elad, which is the comments. Being able to see those for those that are in the studio, for guests in the studio. So that was one. Another is small things like sound effects and background music, the ability to upload a track and have that in the studio, be able to pull the volume down on that track. That's and then other things like you're playing the video and then I missed this, so maybe this is a point of clarification for me, but playing the video and knowing when that video is going to finish, so you have that idea of when that video is going to be done. I'm drawing a blank. I had a couple more in my head, but man, there's some other really good ones.
No worries. And for the music, there. So with the music,
Hotkeys.
hotkeys.
That was the last one.
Hotkeys is high on the list. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Hotkeys
is a
is a
must.
huge
You
one.
know the importance of
Hotkeys
hotkeys.
I don't know if
Yeah,
it's possible, but integration with something like a loop deck or a stream deck,
yeah.
that would be, whew,
Game changer. That
that
goes
would be,
beyond the auto
yeah,
switcher. It's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's huge.
Definitely high in the list.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have workarounds to most of what you asked. Like with music,
yeah,
you can upload, turn the music for now to MP4, position it as a layer in a
And put it into
scene,
the back.
put it
right,
in the back. No one sees that,
Dope.
and
Yeah,
then you
that's
have
really cool.
the
That's really
same
cool.
scene, basically the same look, but just one of them with the audio track, so you can play.
right,
So if you have applause, we had yesterday an event with applause. So we had like a scene of how they look, another thing with the same layout, but the applause. So
Applause,
we've been
right.
like auto switching between the scene with the applause
Applause
back to
and
the regular
okay,
scene.
got it, got it, got
So
it, got it, got it.
yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
not the
That's cool.
best. It's a workaround. You will have. It's also everything you asked for, and
right,
that's why I like to people like you to talk to people like you. And to get another confident that we are thinking in the right way,
Absolutely.
right? Hearing that and knowing that this is what is also high priority for us to develop, man, it makes
Yeah,
me
I mean,
feel so
if
happy.
everything I'm saying is from the perspective of that person out there who's a self producer,
Mhm.
right? They don't have the team, and maybe
Right.
they'll train somebody up at some point, but they're getting started and they want to do their own shows, and so those are hacks that really make it simple. But
Right.
of course, I mean, if you have like a Rodecaster Pro, you can do whatever you want. So there
Right,
is
exactly,
options.
yeah.
There are options with hardware to be able to
Right.
make that thing work. But having it in the system is just going to be, I just like to take all the excuses away. At the end of the
Yeah,
day,
right.
as a live video coach, one of the things I always recognize with people is that it's not the system. It's not all of the gear.
100%.
None of this stuff is going to be the limitation. If you decide
Right.
to go live, you will find a way to do it.
100%.
But if you have made up in your mind that I need this or this or this to go live, you're always going to need something more in order to do it. So if you're always looking for an excuse, you will find an excuse. I can guarantee that to you.
Couldn't
That is
agree
perfect.
more. Couldn't
Yeah.
agree more. And that's one of the things that we say all the time in town halls. Go live. Like
Go live.
start. You won't be experts to
Go
begin with
live.
out of the
Yep.
door. Like
Yeah,
good.
it's gonna be bad.
Go
It's
and do
fine.
that.
Go live.
Yeah, 100%. I like this comment here from Amy that said she thought that Evmux conveyed that we could take your streams to the stars. 100%. It can convey what you want it to convey, and we just want to make sure that you're the star of your show, right?
right.
Ready to produce, and we just wanted to equip you with the tools to be able to share your message, right? And I think that that's the ultimate goal. Kirk said it himself. It's not the tools, not the gear. It's you, right?
That's
you're
it.
the show. You're
right.
you're what brings the energy, right? Why does everybody hover around Kurt, right? He's just like a magnet, right? He's just energetic. He's very motivating and just ready to kind of educate you and really willing to give back and help. And I think this is why it's like so amazing. Like short notice, we got Kurt here to be able to go ahead and be present. His community is here as well. So thank you for all of you who tuned in.
Absolutely.
It's just a really amazing feeling to see just like how little by little every day we just continue to grow. We continue to meet new people and learn more about what we can do to better serve you guys. And I think that's just the whole thing about it. It's just amazing about this journey. But yeah,
That's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Kirk, for joining us, and thank you for
My
the
absolute
community
pleasure.
for being so amazing. And yesterday I felt one of the community.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
I'm a big fan of what you're doing. As
Excellent,
Anthony
man.
said, you are a magnet, and keep
Right.
doing whatever you do.
Thank you so
You
much.
will be successful, and it's just the beginning of an amazing friendship.
Yeah,
You
I
asked
think so.
and other asked about affiliates. We will have affiliates in place,
Yeah.
but not now. But we promise you, anyone like Kirk that's going to be a fan of Evmux, we will know how to gratitude you to begin
Absolutely.
with until we will have the affiliate. We appreciate that. It's not that
Right.
we take that as granted. We appreciate
no.
that, and it makes us feel so good.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah.
keep in touch for sure.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you for having me, man. This is
Hey,
amazing.
no worries, Kurt.
All right,
Thank you so much.
Anthony. You remember? See you in the next one.
That's
right?
it. We had a great fourth Townhall. It's been an amazing journey thus far. If you haven't joined our Facebook group yet, it's a great opportunity to be able to go ahead and connect with people who you saw in chat today, to connect with myself, to connect with Alad, to connect with the other founders that are part of this journey as well. Because ultimately, we want to be plugged in with you guys as much as possible. We want to be able to hear your feedback. And there's going to be a lot of things happening in the Facebook group, right? As we start to build it out, a lot of opportunities for engagement, a lot of opportunities to meet other creators and other people in your space that you can collaborate with and grow. And it's a great place to be, to get sneak peeks into new features that we'll be releasing and things of that sort. So make sure you guys tune in. You can go to facebook.com/Evmux, and you'll be able to go ahead and join us there. But other than that, it's been an amazing turnout. Alad. I'm super pumped. I'm ready to go ahead and get some food and get ready to dump back in and start creating some more content for Evmux. So thank you so much for everybody tuning in. And Alad, you know what we say. We'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, I'm live. That was easy.